Hello gang, welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go through one of my end up being really enjoyable game mode, and that's timeline battle and PvP in this game. Until we wait for tomorrow or today, depending on when you're seeing the video, the new game mode is dropping, the new PvP game mode. But I recently having fun playing timeline battle on manual, and I wanted to take advantage of some characters I have built for PvP, and I was mainly using them for Alliance Conquest and Alliance Tournament, and I want to see here their value into my timeline battle dailies. So before we go through that, I want you to make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell, and smash the like button, of course. And let me know in the comments what team up did you use on this timeline battle season, on this week. I know it's like 2 or 3 days before the end, but it's never late to change your team and go through. And in the start of this season, I was using characters like Sentry because the restrictions on this timeline battle are really tough. They restricted characters. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, they restrict characters like Gore, Dean, Silver Surfer, and I know Silver Surfer it's not meta, but he is there sometimes. So when Gore and Jean Grey is missing, the value of the other characters on the game, Jean is the best, okay, but Jean is out now, so who is going to replace her? And the timeline was kind of crazy, people was having really weird teams, but in the same time, Thanos and Spider-Man was all over the place and all over the meta. Hulk's also, Hulk as a tier 4 can one-shot you. Thanos is a new character, Spider-Man also, they both are really nice for PvP. But I had my secret weapon, I had the characters I never played manually on timeline battle, and I had to practice a bit and go through to see. Let me show you here the build I have. I have almost 190,000 HP. I'm really fat and I have reduced cooldown because that helps you maintain the skill on the autoplay, on Alliance Conquest and Alliance Tournament. But in the same time, on timeline battle is not big deal, 2% less cooldown. But that's the stats. The defense are really high. It's more than 20,000 as you can see. And in the same time, I have some Odin's Blessing. I don't have a lot, but I had also Odin's Blessing for my PV. I'm using Venom for no reason. I don't believe that that's the best striker. I did here his uniform mythic with the recent tickets I took, and I had on him a brilliant refinement. And by the way, I saw people in the Facebook bullying other people for picking, from the CTP selector, for the brilliant CTP selector, picking a brilliant refinement. And I want to make this video for that also, because I feel like refinement, as I was saying, it's the egg meta, guys. For some characters, egg is the best CTP to go with, at least for timeline battle. For Alliance Conquest and Alliance Tournament, it's kind of harder because you don't want to focus on 1v1, but you want to get less damage from everyone. So, Brilliant Authority with the Still effect is the best, in my opinion, for the other game modes. But for timeline battle, Brilliant Egg is really nice, and I'm gonna use Carnage Leadership. I'm gonna use Agent Venom with no build. I just have his artifact, and the fact that his artifact helps you, with damage reduction on your Carnage, helps you a lot. It's 20% damage reduction and also 10% damage to characters that got more HP than you. And in the same time, he provides you from his uniform, I think, basically it's from his uniform, 20% more chain, basically 35% chain hit damage reduction. So you're getting even less damage from the enemies, from the AoE effects and stuff like that, and also provides you chain hit damage. So my Carnage is full boosted here. I'm using like one support I have him as a striker, so I'm starting the run with Agent Venom. So Carnage's skills can, cool down faster, and his skills could be faster ready. My main plan is to run and do the fourth skill, do a third skill, and run, do the fourth skill, do a third skill, and if I have my tier 4, use it, and I'm invisible after that. But yeah, that's my plan. And if all the plan goes down, and I lose, I have this guy here who can wipe the floor from the enemies. And of course, he's not getting the leadership of Carnage, but he got his own debuff on the second skill. So whatever you are happening to yourself, as soon as you press your second skill, you're releasing yourself from the debuffs. So it's like you're having a leadership on your second skill. The second skill, it's a counter attack that instant kills some enemies. So that's why the PvP build of Adam Warlock looks like a PvE build, and I have a mighty energy on him, because with that you can one-tap enemies on your second skill. Of course, you need his artifact also to survive, as Carnage's artifact, and with both I'm using Protect the Captain, where I feel it's the best way to go with all defense and defensive stats. So I have 111k with Adam Warlock. Let me show you the artifact here. It's not big deal. I'm just having some more damage against leadership character. It's useful, but not the best one. I could go for a pierce reduction one. So let's go and see how I picked up the enemies on timeline battle, and what was my plan to go for. Of course, I was avoiding the really hard teams, I was going against hard teams, but not the big boys, I was trying to find tier 3 characters, not tier 4 characters. There are multiple tier 3 teams that they are really successful on the timeline battle also, because on manually, if you play as tier 3, you can easily one-shot enemies. But you can see here my Carnage. I knew here is if Colossus is against you and you have Carnage, you need to swap into a character that he's going to save himself and not die. And look at this one tap I was talking about, was my second skill. Yes, Thanos, it's really tough to kill, so yes, I did fail on killing him here, I think. Yes, I couldn't survive. Thanos can really easy dismantle Adam Warlock. He got an advantage against him. Here, I failed to deliver my fourth skill on time, but because of my artifact, I survived, and I end up magickered Carnage the Thanos. I Carnage Thanos, and yes, here I'm okay. Another tier 3 characters. So you're running around pretty much, and you're spamming your fourth skill. That's the plan with Thanos. And Agent Venom also himself is really good, don't get me wrong. Look at this dude. He can almost kill Thanos there. My fourth skill can do really tough damage, and you want to avoid the first hits all the times, And but after you cast your fourth skill and your third skill, you want to run a bit, because you're not that protected, so you want the protection of your fourth skill and the iframe you're going into. But you can see here, I'm struggling with tier 3 Thanos also sometimes. I took a hit there, I get saved from my artifact, but yes, I heal up really fast because of the artifact and because of the CDB of refinement. And back in the day, when I equipped my brilliant refinement on Carnage, I did a test video on him, and I was like, oh my god, Carnage is so bad and stuff like that. And I want to make this video to make up for my boy Carnage. I really love him. I really love the symbiote family generally, and the fact that that the slimes can go all over. It's really funny in my mind. And generally, I was a big fan of Spider-Man, so the big enemies of Spider-Man was Venom and Carnage, and I was like really hyped when I was a kid. So yes, I really want Carnage to be good, and Brilliant Refinement feels like it's the best for him. I mean, he can literally heal up all of his HP in seconds. In seconds, when you see him being green, he's unbeatable. And when he casts also his tier 4, he is unbeatable also. He's life stealing through the enemy, eating the enemy literally. You're doing damage and you're healing, so it's like you're getting feed out of your enemies. You're eating them, and that's really cool. It's a really unique ability. I mean, there's Blade also having this ability, feeding from your enemy, doing lifesteal, but the other one is Carnage and his tier 4 skill. CDB of Refinement got a similar effect, but pretty much you're just healing. It's not like you're healing through the damage of you're doing. And the sad part is that to unlock this ability for Carnage, you need to pop out his tier 4, which is really, rare to do. And here is the only time I went against a Spider-Man tier 4. And yes, it's the it's the scariest thing into the meta right now in my mind, in my when I'm going against basically, because I don't use characters like Colossus to reflect or something. I'm really look at this. He's always into an iframe, and you can't do nothing. If he is from iframe to iframe, you can't really cast your skills. You're just sitting there and waiting Spider-Man to cast his abilities and destroy you. So that was a lose. I lost through Peter Parker, and the only time I went against a tier 4 Spider-Man basically in these matchups, I went way opposite, because in the start I thought, Carnage got an advantage because of the typing against Spider-Man. It's gonna be cool, but whatever time I tried to go against Spider-Man, I end up losing. So yes, I skipped him. After that, really, when I was seeing him, when I was seeing him walking into the street, I was going to the opposite side of the street. I was changing the side of the street every single time. I was choosing teams with Adam Warlocks, with Thanoses, and stuff like that. And of course, I was avoiding tier 4 Thanos. I'm not stupid. I don't want to risk my wins here. And as you can see, it's not like last time. I didn't went through straight for really weird teams. I tried to go against hard teams, but also be safe and not lost my timeline battle. Right, last week, the timeline battle, I was farming. I did like only 5 loses, and I end up getting 200 crystals. I didn't get ranked or something because I didn't refresh not even once, and you need to refresh if you want to. Here I was almost dying through the reflect, and the artifact was saving me, so that's why I swapped the character, or else my Carnage could die. And Adam came and wiped the floor as I told you he's doing. I have already done 5 wins and 1 lose. The only lose I took was with Spider-Man, as I told you already. And here, look at this. It's tier 4 full. I mean, you don't really need someone to tell you that you need to avoid the tier 4 teams on timeline battle, because if there are 4 tier 4s and one of them gonna do one skill that could one shot you, you want to avoid that. Look at this. Agent Venom end up getting down Thanos. I mean, Hulk tier 3. But yes, I get reflect there by Colossus. Here I was like, okay, let's risk it. But the 4th skill, it's a safe way to kill Colossus, because the reflect of Colossus is not getting you through the iframe that you're jumping into with your 4th skill. So yes, Thanos, no way he can beat me. And of course, if you go against tier 4s, I guess perhaps Thanos could be even stronger and durable to stay alive. Here I fight at one Sentry team. Also, another good option for this week's timeline battle was Sentry. Sentry, 2 cancel, 5 cancel, 4. It's a killer. You can kill pretty much anyone. And yes, here Adam Warlock was iframing me, and I was having trouble there. Kill him. Perhaps I end up dying. Yeah, I end up dying, and I had to Oh, yeah, he killed me. This Adam Warlock was a pain. I just remember him. This Adam Warlock was a pain, and I had to utilize my Adam Warlock in in maximum level. I needed to do all the victories with Adam Warlock and stay alive. Yeah, look at this. Sentry can really one tap you with his fifth skill, and if you do the combo, 2 cancel, 5 cancel, 4, he's completely destroying enemies. But yes, Adam Warlock wins. Adam Warlock is really nice, dude. He's coming in the end and dropping his second skills. He's doing his third skill, and he can take down a lot of enemies. It's really funny. And yes, I avoid myself also. You don't want to go mirror enemies. It's really annoying. Here I was thinking about Spider-Man, but yeah, I was like, nah, let's go into the next. Oh, yes, I fight a tier 3 Spider-Man here, just to see if he's going to be that brutal against me as a tier 3 also. And here, yes, Agent Venom here did some really good job. I think I killed this sentry, and after I double kill him and I kill Spider-Man also. Yeah, let's wait and see. Yeah, Agent Venom, bro. I had give him a mighty authority in a period of time. Now I have just a proccing obelisk, but when I had on him a brilliant, basically a mighty authority, he was doing really nice. And you can see here, he completely destroyed all the enemy team, and he lost through Colossus cause of the reflect. Yes, yeah, I lost through Colossus there. But yes, Agent Venom, bro. I mean, literally, timeline battle can get, timeline battle is all over. Symbiotes are all over timeline battle. I believe that people are sleeping on Carnage and Agent Venom, but both of them can provide you a really nice, 1 and 2 punch into the enemies. And the fact that both are combat types are really it's not that useful because there are enemies like Adam Warlock, but other than Adam Warlock, I mean, there are not a lot of blast types to get the disadvantage against you. At least blast types that they're participating on the timeline battle. There is of course Thanos and Jean that most of the times you're going to have disadvantage against them, but it's not like the situation that you have an advantage against Spider-Man, the big gap. Here I get silenced also, but my tier 4 came here and helped me survive through all these hits. I end up dying. I was trying to face tank Thanos, but yes, you can't face tank Thanos. Even if Thanos is tier 3 and you're tier 4 with full build, you can't face tank him. You need to avoid the skills. And here, yes, Adam Warlock took the last victory, and I went into 9 wins and 1 lose. And in my opinion, Carnage is really worth building. If you want a really solid character for PvP on manual timeline battle, Carnage can pull out a lot. And I'm not a really good player of Carnage. Of course, you saw there me struggling against weaker enemies. But still, it's a solid solution. And the fact that if you have his artifact and you can stay alive, it's really easy after that to go with a brilliant egg, with a brilliant authority. There are multiple CDPs that you can use. Mighty greed, mighty refinement, refinement, greed, if they're reforged, and authority, refinement, greed, authority. All 3 need to be basically crafted. You want a mighty or brilliant version of them. But yes, if you build him, he can deliver really easy. Even after all this time, Carnage is into the game. As Hulk kept his value, Carnage kept his value too. And perhaps you can't really see that because there are not a lot of Carnages into the timeline battle, but still. And Adam Warlock, bro, this dude is coming and wiping the floor with his second skill, and the fact that he can one-shot enemies, it's really fun. Just dropping this and destroying the enemy. It's really cool, and yes, I'm totally into him. Of course, Agent Venom could be utilized with the CDP of Insight, or his own, authority to stay alive more and DPS the enemies. Grid also could work on him, or a PvP set here to stay alive more. I don't have give a lot of love on my Agent Venom, but yes, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I, opened your third die on Timeline Battle and you wanna play also yourself manual, or you wanna pick another team now and go utilize your characters better. Because to be honest, I have a lot of fun playing Timeline Battle. Of course, it's so annoying sometimes. I want to smash my head through the loses, but still, when you win, it's really cool. And even if it's AI, even if the characters and the enemies teams are weaker most of the times because you're picking them, it's really fun, and it's the only way to farm high amounts of crystals at the end of the week, of course. That was it. See you into the next. Kisses in your faces.